On a brisk spring morning, Marcus and Leona Bennett arrived at John F. Kennedy International Airport, dressed smartly but comfortably. Marcus, in his early 30s, wore tailored dark jeans and a navy blazer over a crisp white shirt. Leona, a striking woman with sharp eyes and a composed demeanor, had chosen a burgundy cardigan and black trousers. Despite their impeccable appearance, they weren't seeking attention, only a relaxing weekend flight to Miami. Marcus had recently wrapped up a major fundraising initiative for the educational nonprofit he led in Bed-Stuy, and Leona, a rising civil rights attorney in Manhattan, had finally carved out time from her demanding caseload. They both looked forward to 2 days of sun, quiet, and each other. The airport was its usual flurry of commotion, luggage rolling, boarding calls echoing, travelers rushing. They printed their boarding passes at a kiosk and strolled toward the security line. Leona glanced at Marcus. "Think we've got time to grab coffee?" He smiled. 2 hours till takeoff? We're golden. They queued at a cafe, surrounded by the mingling scent of espresso and baked pastries. They scrolled through emails and social media, relaxed, unaware that this ordinary morning was about to become the catalyst for a journey neither of them could have predicted. At the security checkpoint, they moved efficiently, removing shoes and pulling laptops from bags. But as they reached the ID check, the TSA agent lingered on their passports longer than necessary, his eyes flickering between their faces and the documents. "Is something wrong?" Leona asked, her voice polite but steady. "No," he mumbled, handing back the passports. They shrugged it off, attributing it to fatigue or overwork. But the unease didn't fully dissipate. Still, they pressed on toward gate C23. Leona suggested they relax in the airline lounge. As a frequent flyer, she had platinum status and could bring a guest. They approached the entrance near gate C20, where a uniformed attendant named Dana stood behind a podium. Leona handed her the membership card with a warm smile. Dana scanned the card, frowned, and returned it with clipped efficiency. "The lounge is at capacity. You'll need to wait outside." Leona blinked. "Are you sure?" "The screen says, 'Welcome Leona Bennett.' I'm platinum status." Dana barely glanced up. "Policy's policy." Confused, Marcus and Leona stepped aside, peering through the glass walls. Inside, the lounge was anything but full, empty seats, relaxed guests, servers calmly tending the buffet. Marcus whispered, "She just let in 3 other people." "Let's give her the benefit of the doubt," Leona replied, though her eyes told a different story. 10 minutes passed. White travelers continued to walk in, nodded through with perfunctory glances. Leona approached Dana again. "Has space opened?" Dana's tone tightened. "Still at capacity." Leona gestured toward the visible vacancies. "We can see open seats." Dana crossed her arms. "I'm not going to argue. Please step aside." That was enough. Leona requested to speak with a manager. Dana hesitated before picking up the phone. Minutes later, a man in a tailored suit appeared, Brandon, the lounge manager. Leona calmly explained the situation, showing her credentials. Brandon confirmed her membership on his tablet. "There's no issue. You're welcome to enter." But before they could walk in, Dana interjected sharply, "I have the right to deny entry if I suspect." "Suspect what?" Marcus asked, his voice low, tight. Dana's mouth opened, then shut. Brandon's tone turned cold. "Step aside, Dana." They entered the lounge, but the tension clung to them. The polished decor, the soft music, it all felt brittle now. Leona stared at her untouched coffee. "I'm tired of having to ask for what we've already earned." Marcus nodded. "We belong here. More than that, we're done letting this slide." They left the lounge early, unwilling to stay where they weren't welcome. As they passed the entrance again, Dana, now off duty, muttered just loud enough, "Entitled." Marcus stiffened, but Leona pulled him away. "She's not worth it." At gate C23, the boarding area buzzed. Passengers lined up early, ignoring the announcement to remain seated. When business class was called, Marcus and Leona stepped forward. Harriet, the boarding agent, scanned their passes. Beep, beep. Her scanner flashed red. "I'm sorry, your tickets appear invalid. Please see the main desk." Leona frowned. "We just used them at the lounge." "I can't let you board," Harriet repeated. At the main desk, an agent named Lourdes reviewed their reservation. "That's strange. You're confirmed. I'll reprint your passes." Relieved but wary, they returned. Harriet scanned the new passes without incident but offered no apology. Behind her, they spotted Dana whispering to another agent, both laughing. On the plane, they found their business class seats, but moments later, a flight attendant named Cheryl appeared. There's been a seating change, she said. They were moved to narrower seats near the galley. Still technically business class, but clearly a downgrade. This isn't the seat we paid for, Marcus said. Cheryl smiled blandly. Equipment upgrade. Happens sometimes. They didn't argue. They didn't want to be removed. But inside, both were seething. Small slights continued during the flight. A request for orange juice was denied, then served to another passenger. A pillow request was met with a lumpy one, while others received plush replacements. An older man across the aisle leaned over. I saw what happened. I used to be a police chief. If you need a witness for anything, I've got your back. Thank you, Leona said. That means more than you know. When they landed in Miami, they deplaned without incident. But their celebratory mood had soured. Leona replayed every insult, every brush-off, every denial. They checked into their beachfront hotel and tried to unwind. Marcus opened a bottle of champagne. We deserve peace. Leona nodded, but her heart wasn't in it. We can't just let this go. The next morning, Leona received a call from her firm's managing partner, Sylvia Chong. A major civil rights case had just landed, and the client specifically requested Leona. She flew back early. Marcus joined her. The vacation was over. The real work had just begun. Days later, back in New York, Leona sat in Sylvia's office. Sylvia asked, "Are you ready? I heard about what happened at the airport." Leona nodded. "I'm more than ready. This case, it's personal now." But Leona couldn't let go of what had happened. She began an informal investigation, using her legal network, researching similar complaints. What she found shocked her. Countless reports of discrimination, ticket flags, downgraded seats, almost all affecting black travelers at JFK. Marcus used his nonprofit network to gather additional stories. Leona compiled it all: documents, timelines, names. She brought in civil rights litigator David Carver, a fierce attorney with experience tackling corporate discrimination. Together, they crafted a strategy: hold the airline accountable not just for Marcus and Leona's experience, but for a systemic problem. One day, an anonymous email arrived. "I work for Delta. I've seen what they did to you. There are internal memos. Managers who protect employees like Dana. If you can guarantee my anonymity, I'll share them." Leona's hands shook as she read it. She forwarded the message to David. Days later, more files arrived. Redacted complaints, HR notes, warnings about specific staff, including Dana, who had previously been flagged but protected by supervisors. Armed with evidence, they approached the airline's legal team. A tense back-and-forth ensued. Delta denied wrongdoing but offered to meet. The meeting was scheduled at Delta's headquarters in Atlanta. Marcus had an idea. "Let's fly in on a private jet." Leona blinked. "That's a bit much." "It's a statement." They arrived in Atlanta in style: Leona, Marcus, David, and Sylvia. The airline's executives looked stunned. In the boardroom, Leona presented their demands: a multi-million-dollar settlement, mandatory bias training, independent complaint oversight, and disciplinary action for all implicated staff. Delta's team tried to negotiate, but Leona stood firm. "This isn't just about us," she said. "It's about every person who's been made to feel less than human because of their skin color." Eventually, the airline conceded. Dana was terminated. Her supervisor placed on administrative leave. The training programs and oversight measures were implemented immediately. Leona used part of the settlement to fund scholarships for aspiring civil rights attorneys. Marcus expanded his nonprofit's youth leadership programs. At home in Brooklyn, they celebrated quietly. Their fight wasn't just for justice, it was a promise to anyone who's ever been told to wait outside. They hadn't just boarded a jet. They had taken flight.